The film starts with an emotional scene at JFK Airport featuring a college couple, Jack and Kate. Jack is heading to London for a 12-month internship, while Kate fears their relationship might fade. Jack reassures her, outlining their plans. Kate will attend law school and secure an internship. Still, she wishes their love would come before their ambitions. Jack kisses her, affirming their bond is strong enough to survive the distance. 13 years later, Jack wakes up in a sleek apartment, having spent the night with Paula, a woman he barely knows. She reminds him it's Christmas Eve, and he continues his day unfazed, exchanging pleasantries with his neighbor and the doorman before heading to work in his Ferrari. Now at the top of his game, Jack leads a high-stakes meeting at his Fortune 500 company. During the discussion on a significant merger, Jack notices Alan, a board member distracted by Christmas plans. Jack reassures him that the merger is a 10-figure Christmas gift for shareholders. Later, Jack receives a message from Kate, who has been trying to reach him. His assistant offers to call Kate, but Jack declines, hesitant to revisit the past. Peter, the chairman, enters Jack's office, and Jack asks for advice about handling his old flame. Peter suggests cutting it loose like taxes. As Jack walks home, he stops for eggnog and witnesses a tense standoff at a small store. The cashier refuses a man with a winning lottery ticket, doubting its legitimacy. The man pulls a gun, but Jack negotiates with him, offering $200 for the ticket and ensuring he can cash it elsewhere. The deal is made, and Jack advises the man against violence. The man's cryptic words linger. "You brought this upon yourself this time." Jack feels uneasy, and the man walks away. The next morning, Jack wakes up to a strange sight, a woman holding him close. It's Kate. Before he can process it, two children jump onto the bed, and the little girl calls him Dad. Jack is shocked and rushes downstairs to escape. Kate's parents greet him warmly at the door, but when he asks about his Ferrari, they offer him their Cadillac instead. Confused, he reluctantly accepts and heads to New York City, hoping for something familiar. Outside his apartment, Jack sees Tony, the doorman, but is denied entry, which frustrates him. His neighbor, Mrs. Peterson, also doesn't recognize him. Deepening his confusion, when Jack accuses them of a prank, they threaten to call the police, prompting him to leave. At work, Frank, the security officer, refuses him entry. Jack points to the board members list, finding Alan's name where he should be. Outside, Jack sees his Ferrari, but a stranger is driving it. The man orders Jack into the car, gives him a bag to breathe into, and warns of nausea from the experience. Desperate, Jack asks what's happening. The man explains it's a glimpse of the life Jack could have had, and he'll return to his reality when he figures it out. The man hands him a bell and drives off, leaving Jack confused. Jack looks for Kate, but finds the neighborhood dreamlike. When he asks the man for directions, chaos erupts as the man's wife screams. Shockingly, the man is Arnie, an old friend. Arnie reveals that in this reality, Kate is his wife. Arnie takes Jack to a large home, where Jack's life feels increasingly surreal. Kate greets him but quickly grows upset, demanding to know where he's been. Disoriented, Jack insists that he lives in New York and has no family. Kate, frustrated, becomes angry. Jack rings the bell the man gave him, and his daughter calls. Kate scolds him for missing their children's gift opening and reminds him to prepare for the Thompson party. Confused, Jack feels his grip on reality slipping. Jack is unsettled as he sifts through mundane clothes, contrasting his usual high-end style at the Thompson party. Evelyn greets them warmly, but the interaction feels off. When she flirts with him, Jack grows uncomfortable. Back home, Kate asks him to walk the dog, and Jack reluctantly agrees. The next morning, Jack is woken by a baby's cries. Disoriented, he knocks on the bathroom door, asking Kate for help. When she doesn't respond, he opens it and realizes it's his turn to prepare the kids for school. Annie steps in to help with the routine. Noticing his awkwardness, she says he can't be her real dad. Jack agrees, and when she asks where her real dad is, Jack says he'll be back soon. Annie jokingly theorizes aliens might have sent him to look like her real dad. Later, Annie asks if he can make chocolate milk. Jack hesitantly agrees, and her welcome to Earth briefly eases the tension. She guides Jack through the day, showing him how to drop Josh off at daycare and take her to school. When Jack asks where he works, Annie replies, "You sell tires at Big Ed's." Jack's disbelief deepens as he arrives at Big Ed's tire shop. Inside, he asks an employee for his office, where he finds photos revealing the truth. This version of his life never boarded the plane to London. Later, Jack watches the news about a major corporate merger. Furious, he claims it's his deal. Kate enters, smiles, and turns off the TV, mentioning the kids are asleep. She kisses Jack, but he's still confused, admiring her beauty and telling her how beautiful she's become. After she leaves to change, Jack pretends to be asleep, reeling from the strange reality. Jack tries on a $2,400 suit the next day, and Kate compliments him, but when she sees the price tag, she tells him he's crazy. They argue, and Jack eventually gives in and decides not to buy the suit. On the drive home, Jack apologizes and reflects on his life together, recalling the unexpected baby, saving Ed from a heart attack, working for him, and moving into their home. Jack bowls with friends the next day, but disappoints them with his poor performance. At home, he finds Kate has taken one of his chocolate cakes. They playfully chase, but when Jack fails to say, "I love you," Kate leaves upset. That night, Jack watches an old birthday video of Kate where he serenades her, something she always cherished. The next morning, Jack makes Josh's bottle, and Kate gives him an anniversary gift, a new suit. When it's clear Jack forgot their anniversary, Kate hides her hurt. Jack promises to make it up to her while making chocolate milk for Annie. She mentions her dad always does something special for Kate on their anniversary. Jack asks if he's ever taken Kate to the city, and Annie excitedly agrees it's a great idea. Later, Jack and Kate dine at a fancy New York restaurant. Jack surprises her with a dance despite her hesitation. They twirl, ignoring stares, while the pianist smiles and others envy Kate. Jack confesses he feels like he's living someone else's life, remembering his past confidence. Kate admits she feels the same. When she asks what he's sure of, Jack replies, "There's nowhere I'd rather be than with you." They check into a luxury hotel, and Jack tells Kate he still loves her. Over the next few days, Jack bonds with Annie and Josh, and Kate kisses him goodbye. Jack begins to take pride in his work selling tires. One day, Peter brings in a flat tire. Jack explains how a merger could have been worth $130 billion instead of $122 billion, impressing Peter, who hands him a delivery address and asks Jack to drop off the car. The next morning, Jack arrives dressed sharply and heads to the office. There he meets Peter and Alan in his old office. Jack acknowledges the smallness of his tire business compared to their multi-billion-dollar company, but emphasizes his understanding of people. His accurate observations of Alan and Peter convince Peter to hire him. Peter asks Alan to show Jack around. Once alone, Alan warns Jack not to interfere with their business. Jack laughs, confident and unshaken, before leaving Alan puzzled. Jack takes Kate to a lavish apartment, explaining it's for an executive role he's been offered. Kate appreciates the gesture, but worries about moving for the kids. Jack insists it's their dream life, but Kate fears a new job and the kids losing friends. Jack suggests commuting, but Kate fears it'll take time away from them. At home, Jack finds his old flight ticket to London. Kate admits she's scared he'll leave for good. The next day, Jack returns. Kate expresses her love and willingness to move to New York, but believes their love matters more than location. Jack reflects on her words. Jack plays in the snow the next day with Annie, who believes her dad will return. That evening, Jack encounters the mysterious man in a store. The man notes Jack seems to have figured it out. Jack snaps, saying he won't let the man disrupt his life. The man calmly explains that a glimpse is temporary. Jack pays, mentioning his kids are waiting. After returning home, Jack checks on Josh and then visits Annie, who groggily asks if it's morning. He reassures her, whispering he's heading back to the mothership. He then speaks with Kate, asking her to promise she'll remember him as he is. She agrees, urging him to rest, but Jack says he has one last thing to do. He takes the dog for a walk, letting it roam before heading home. Trying to savor the moment, Jack eventually falls asleep. He wakes in his luxury apartment confused. Paul wishes him happy holidays, but Jack insists it can't be the season. He drives to the house for his glimpse, but an unfamiliar man denies Kate lives there. On the way back, his colleague calls, reminding him of a meeting. At the office, Alan asks if Jack is okay, noting his lack of a suit and mentioning a merger crisis. Jack, disconnected, steps in to save it, claiming this is his real life. In his limo, he calls to get Kate's address. Arriving, he finds movers at her home. Kate explains that she is moving to Paris to work. When Jack asks if she's married, she says no and hands him a box of her old belongings. Jack overhears as Kate's assistant informs her of the 7 p.m. flight. She shifts her focus, and Jack leaves in his limo, instructing the driver to head home instead of the meeting. Going through his old things, Jack finds photos of him and Kate, stirring emotions. He checks his watch, then rushes out. Speeding to the airport, he spots Kate and calls out her name. When she turns, Jack explains how, in his glimpse, they had a home, kids, and deep love. He asks her not to board the plane to Paris, not tonight, and suggests they have coffee instead. Kate, moved, agrees. They share a quiet moment at the airport cafe, reconnecting and enjoying each other's company. If you were in Jack's shoes, how would you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the other videos on our channel.